Welcome to Elementary by Ticker Tape. This is Ujjwal, and in this episode, we'll go down to the most basic topic. How does the stock market actually work? By now, after watching all the elementary videos, you already must be on your way to become a stock investing tycoon. Let's take a pause and understand the mechanics behind the markets. Let's start with stocks or shares. It's a financial instrument that is a certificate of ownership in a company. If the total number of shares for a company is 100, and if you own 5 out of them, you own 5% of the company. Shareholders are owners of the company, plain and simple. But why did the share get created? Companies looking to expand their business need capital. They have to hire employees, set up factories, take up offices, and all of this requires money. Money can come either as debt financing, where the company takes a loan from external parties, or as equity financing, where money is taken from outsiders and are then given a share of the company. Outsiders are converted to owners in return for capital. Initially, the equity financing might come from a small group of investors, friends and family, or venture capital and private equity firms. Till this time, the company chooses who can hold the shares of the company and is called a private limited company. After a point, the company is growing at a rapid pace and is in need of a lot of capital to grow. So, they turn to the public. They change themselves from a private limited to a public limited company and ask for money from the general public through a process called the initial public offering or IPO. Now, anyone can invest in the company by purchasing shares. Anything that trades anywhere needs a market. For a company's shares, there are two kinds of markets, primary market and the secondary market. Primary market is where the shares are created. The IPO is an example. Here, the company created new shares out of nowhere and told investors that if you want part ownership in the company, give me money and I'll give these shares to you. So shares flow from company to the investor and money flows from the investor to the company. Sweet. Next, we have the secondary market. Here, investors trade amongst themselves. Investor 1 has a stock of the company and she sells it for Rs 100 to Investor 2. After the trade, Investor 2 now owns the share and the money flows from Investor 2 to Investor 1. The company is not involved at all in this entire transaction. The secondary market for equities is also called the stock market. Now let's take a look at all the entities involved in the secondary market. First up is the stock exchange. If you want to buy fish, you will go to the fish market. An exchange is the place where buyers and sellers meet. The primary responsibility of an exchange is to ensure smooth and fair dealing of securities. But an exchange does not interact with investors like you or me directly. They outsource this to intermediaries called brokers. These are registered entities which are given license by an exchange to facilitate trading for investors. Users open an account with these brokers and use their platforms, online or offline through phone trading, etc., to place buy or sell orders on the exchange. You cannot place an order on the exchange without having an account with a registered stockbroker. Effectively, brokers are the face that the investors deal with. Alright, so say I purchased a share by placing an order through my broker. What do I get? Do I get a piece of paper or do I get a plastic token to indicate that I own a share? Before 1996, you would have received exactly that, a share certificate. And trading was cumbersome, requiring share certificates to be exchanged. A lot of headache. In modern trading, shares are stored in an electronic form called dematerialized shares or DMAT for short. Cool, but still, who keeps track of these DMAT shares? That would be the depositories. There are two depositories in India, NSDL and CDSL. Think of them as a safe for your shares. When you open an account with a broker, you open a DMAT account as well with either of these two depositories. Don't worry, you don't have to approach them yourself, your broker will take care of that. Generally, the broker will also be a depository participant or DP. Basically, it means that they also act as an agent of the depository. So, we'll deal with the broker, not the depository directly. Okay, so far we've understood that to buy a share of Reliance, I need to open an account with a broker. After that, I place an order on the exchange through my broker and say that I'll pay 2300 rupees for one share. The broker conveys my order to the exchange, who then finds another investor, the seller, who already owns the Reliance share and is okay with selling it for 2300 rupees. Great. My broker would also have arranged for opening of a DMAT account with one of the two depositories where my Reliance share will be stored once the transaction is complete. But wait for a second and think about the risk to the other person, also called my counterparty. What if I take the share but not pay him and run at full speed in the opposite direction? He has a risk of me not paying. He doesn't know me and can't chase me or post my name on Twitter. So, there needs to be another intermediary which knows both parties and which can guarantee that the funds and the shares will reach the appropriate destination. This is called a clearing corporation or a clearing house. In order to remove the risk for individual investors so that they can trade without the worry that the counterparty will do fraud, clearing houses guarantee each and every trade, meaning that they will place themselves between me and my counterparty. They'll become a seller to me and a buyer to my counterparty. In fact, clearing houses maintain buffer funds to guarantee trades if the buyer doesn't pay. This ensures that every trade that is or will be executed on the exchange is a promise that will definitely be honored. Amazing. Now we have the peace of mind to trade without knowing who our counterparty is. So the next time you place an order to buy a stock, think of all these market participants working behind the scenes to ensure that things run smoothly for you. And for more such simple explanations, subscribe to our channel. Keep it simple.